You were an early entrant into the NFL draft. Boise State's had a couple of those over the last few years. What was it that intrigued you to jump into the NFL draft before your eligibility was done?
Man, it was a lot of different factors. I just had to look at the season I had, and kind of things came down to that last game pretty much, and it came down to the wire. And I just talked to my family, talked to coaches, and just came to the decision that maybe it was the best step for me, and it was time for me to go into the next chapter of my life. Longevity for running back is not that long, and with that type of beating on my body, it was kind of just one of those things where kind of had to weigh my options as far as what I was going to do going forward for my career, and what was I going to think about as far as how healthy I was going to be and everything, financial situation, all that. So it just came down to the decision. That was time for the next chapter of my life.
You wrote a letter that you posted on social media to Boise State fans, and you said, quote, "I can't tell you how much the last 3 years of Boise State have meant to me. Thank you to everyone who has gotten me to this point. I hope that I made you all proud." What did those 3 years in Boise mean to you? What specifically touched you so much?
Oh, man, it was I always say it was one of the best decisions of my life to go to Boise State. It was the environment, the coaching staff, people, everything about it was just amazing and made the experience that much more awesome. And just being surrounded with that type of energy and those type of people just makes you want to be a better person and do things to kind of just give back to the community and make sure that you're being the best version of yourself that you can be. And, I just appreciate everything that I experienced during my time in Boise. And I think that the fans have a lot to do with making that experience great. The best fan base in the nation, in my opinion. And, I just really appreciate everything about Boise, the coaches, the fans, and my teammates, most definitely.
Yeah, we had a chance to go out there earlier last season to go check out a game on the blue turf, and boy, you're right. The fans are amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. What a cool town Boise is. Alexander Mattison joins us from the Boise State Broncos, running back entering the NFL draft. You finished your career with a pair of 200-yard efforts in the final regular season game against Utah State, and then also, as we mentioned, in the Mountain West Championship game against Fresno State. You carried 40 times for 200 in that loss against the Bulldogs. Was that the most work you ever got in a single game?
Yeah, most definitely. I didn't even really notice I got up to 40 carries. I kind of thought I was somewhere around 25. And then I got the news that, had taken a lot more than that. So it definitely was a great experience. It sucks that we lost that game, but we laid it all out there. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, just giving your all and giving 110% effort.
How bummed were you that your bowl game, the First Responders Bowl, was canceled against Boston College because of weather?
That was sad. We had some great expectations, and things were looking pretty good for us. So, you kind of get that feeling of how things are going to go, and you start getting in the rhythm, and then that just happened. We played about 5 minutes of the game, and then you're about to head out for your next drive, and you cancel the game. So that sucked, especially spending a lot of time preparing for that game and wanting to go out with a bang. We don't want to go out on a good note, and so that just sucked for us. But everything happens for a reason. I feel like that might have been a sign from God or something. It's time to hang up the jersey and move on from college football for me.
Alexander Mattison, running back, Boise State, joining us this morning as he enters the NFL draft. You retweeted earlier this month a tweet from another college football player from your hometown of San Bernardino, and that's Eric Garcia, Texas Southern. And I want to read this tweet because I think it's interesting. Garcia wrote, "I'm so proud of where I come from. Even though SB has a bad reputation, this city produces so many amazing people that are really out here making a difference. We got a special chip on our shoulder because we've constantly been doubted or overlooked our whole lives." You retweeted that. What is your relationship with being from your hometown of San Bernardino, and why does that relate to you, that quote?
Oh, man, he put it right on the dot. Being from San Bernardino, you're told that you're not going to make it out, and you're not supposed to make it. I've heard plenty of times you should be dead or in jail by a certain time, just because, that's kind of the reputation of the city. Like he was saying, it's a bad reputation. I've had, lost friends to the streets, and the environment is just not the best place. So, you see things and you grow up around things that, you shouldn't see. And it does something to you. It makes you work harder. It makes you work different. And I feel like we just have a chip on our shoulder, and there's some grit in me. And I do it because I know that if I don't, I'm back in that situation, and that's nowhere I want to be or want my family to be. And so, I just put the city on my back, put my family on my back, and just make sure I work as hard as I can to make sure that I set up my family for the future and future generations that never have to grow up in that situation.
You were a great athlete, but you're also a great student. I mean, your GPA was 4.68 in high school. That's an insane GPA. You were immersed in 2 languages, in English and Spanish. You were a great student. In terms of all the things you're talking about, how difficult was it to focus on academics when all those other things are swirling around you?
It wasn't that hard. My parents were awesome at making sure that we stayed on track. They said even when we were younger that there was no C's in the house, and if we wanted to go to practice or play in the game, we had to have our homework finished first, and so it was kind of always instilled in me growing up when I was younger that there was no other option but to be exceptional, and then I kind of just took it to another level when I started getting paranoid of B's, and I see 89% that I got to do something about it. So it was kind of what helped me focus rather than trying to stay focused on that with all the other things going on. I was never really intrigued by gang life, drugs, and alcohol. It never even piqued my interest. So staying dialed in football, in school, and then other sports that I played was just a part of my life, and it was just kind of a way of life for me, and there was no other option for me.
Alexander Mattison, top 10 in rushing in the nation, 1,400-plus yards on the ground, 17 scores on the ground as well. First team All-Mountain West. He also caught 60 passes over his Boise State career. So coming out of the backfield is a strength, which definitely sets himself up well for the NFL. We'll see where he ends up getting selected in the NFL draft. This was a really fun conversation, man. Thank you so much for taking some time out for us. Best of luck for the NFL draft coming up next week. And I'll tell you what, wherever you end up, how about we chat again and we'll talk about it.